You can have the greatest product in the world, but sell it for too much and no one will buy it. More often than not, price will be one of the first things that either pulls a customer in or makes them leave. Hi, my name is Leah, and because pricing is so important, I'm going to tell you about some different pricing strategies and go through a couple of real examples at the end of the video. The price of this video is free, though you can like and subscribe to make sure you get more great content like this. Pricing may just look like a bunch of numbers, but really your pricing communicates so much more than just a dollar sign. It expresses the value of your brand, your product, and how much you value your customers. Before setting your product's prices, there are 7 things you should consider. 1. Target audience. Do they just want something cheap? Does higher price mean better quality to them? Think about how important price is to your niche when they're deciding to buy something. 2. Fixed costs. These are expenses that don't change no matter how much of the product you sell. Your product price needs to cover fixed costs. Platform subscriptions, domain name, your internet bill, employee salaries, or rent if you're working from an office. 3. Competitors. Find out what similar items are going for and how other businesses are pricing their products. 4. Variable costs. These are costs that do change, things like marketing, product development, and fulfillment. 5. Profit margin. This is a percentage that shows how much profit you'd like to make per sale of an item. A profit margin should also be able to cover fixed and variable costs and still leave you a profit. 6. Where to sell. Whether you sell online, in a physical store, or somewhere else, this needs to be fully thought out as it will help determine your fixed costs. And 7. Customer experience. Are they getting a high-quality product with a higher level of service than they would elsewhere? The most common way to calculate your selling price is cost plus profit margin. Sure, sounds easy enough, but of course there's a lot more to it. Selling price also depends on your pricing strategy. We're going to talk about 6 common product pricing strategies, list some pros and cons for each, and then crunch some numbers. The first strategy is value-based pricing. Simply put, this is setting a price based on how much customers are willing to pay. It's customer-focused and mostly used by specialty stores and the luxury market. You price your products based on how much the consumers believe they're worth. This strategy is perfect for companies that have time and resources, as you'll need a lot of data and information to get the best results. Let's look at an example. Say you want to sell premium fleece jogging pants with pockets for women. Here's what you do. First, identify your buyer personas. Who are their products intended for? Analyze buyers' challenges, interests, and other things. In this case, it's women who want to be active, comfortable, stylish, and have pants with pockets. Second, determine the price of alternatives. Research current market trends and costs for similar items. Let's say your competitors are selling premium jogging pants with no pockets for $30. Lastly, talk to customers. Conduct surveys to find out how much they'd be willing to pay for your added value, which in this case are pockets. If you don't want to wait for survey results, ask the people who you know who fall into your target audience. Let's pretend your customers tell you they'd pay an extra $15 for jogging pants with pockets, meaning the value-based price for this product would be $45. The pros of this strategy are that you'll know what the market is willing to pay, it's backed by research, continuous product improvement, and prioritized customer service. The cons are that it requires time, resources, and it's an approximation, not an exact number. Another strategy is cost plus pricing. This is the easiest to calculate, as your selling price will equal cost plus cost times your desired profit margin. As an example, you want to sell fleece blankets. Let's say production and fulfillment costs are $35.29. We recommend a profit margin of 40%, so we'll use that in our calculation. $35.29 times 40% is $14.12, plus $35.29 equals a selling price of $49.41. We'll round up a bit and set the price for this blanket to $49.99. The pros here are that it's relatively easy to calculate and it will always generate a profit, as the equation covers costs on product development and fulfillment. This is a beginner-friendly pricing strategy, and it's the one we'll show you more in depth later on. The cons are that it doesn't provide insight into competitor pricing and products, and customer value isn't incorporated. Let's talk about competitor-based pricing next. This means you set your price based on your competitor's price. To figure out your price, identify your competitors that are selling the same or similar products, research their pricing strategies, gather the average selling price of all competitors for your product, and use that as a benchmark. Decide where the product fits in the market and choose a higher, matching, or lower price than your competitors. The advantages of this strategy is that it's simple to use, it's low risk and aligns you with the competition, and it's easy to adjust prices accordingly as the market evolves. Some disadvantages are limited flexibility by relying on your competitors, no customer involvement, and it's not backed by research, willingness to pay, or other factors. Next, let's discuss dynamic pricing. This means being flexible with your prices and changing prices for current market demands and customer preferences. The idea here is to sell the same product at different prices to different groups of people. Think airlines or surge pricing when trying to get an Uber home on a Saturday night in the rain. To calculate your price, start by figuring out your buyer personas and align product prices accordingly. Lower or raise prices for different buyer groups. Use a value metric. What are you physically charging for in terms of a product? And use time. Have your prices go up or down based on time. The pros of this strategy are the ability to maximize profits, responsive pricing based on current trends, and it's backed by data on demand. However, this strategy could cause customer frustration with constant price changes or risk of price wars amongst competitors, and is also time-consuming to maintain. Next, let's talk about psychological pricing. This strategy uses people's emotions to get them to buy something. The idea is to create a sense that customers will miss out on a good deal or get them to buy more than they intended. There are several types of psychological pricing, but we'll talk about how to implement 3 of them. The first type, and the most common, is charm pricing. By removing 1 cent from the whole dollar, we can trick the brain into thinking the product costs less. So instead of pricing your product at $5, you'd price it at $4.99. Next, there's creating a false sense of urgency with artificial time constraints. People don't want to miss out on a sale, so they're more likely to make a purchase now rather than later. A third type of psychological pricing is innumeracy. This strategy takes simple math and uses the option that's more appealing to a buyer. The classic buy one get one free sounds much better than 50% off 2 items, even though the price would be exactly the same. Some pros are that it will boost attention to your products, it simplifies the decision-making process, and it can offer a high return on investment. Of course, on the other hand, you're taking advantage of customers and it may affect your brand reputation. And let's talk about one last strategy, threshold pricing. This is one of the most effective strategies in e-commerce. Here, you offer customers free shipping or discounts when they spend a certain amount of money. 65% of consumers don't finish checkout because of high shipping costs. However, 93% of online shoppers will add stuff to their cart in order to qualify for free shipping. To find your free shipping threshold, figure out your average order value and set it just above that. This way, it'll encourage your customers to add more products that they may have been unsure about. If your average order value is $45, let your customers qualify for free shipping if they spend $50 or more. You can also try percentage-based discounts or dollar amount discounts. You can set a threshold offer based on the number of products bought. For example, buy 2 shirts, get 15% off any hat. Or give a dollar amount off, which is very similar to store credit. For example, get $20 off if you spend at least $100. This way, your customers will feel the need to spend it so it doesn't go to waste. The pros here are less abandoned carts, more engagement with your customers, and increased average order value. The cons can be less conversions as your customers might always wait for offers, and it might decrease customer loyalty. All right, we've done our research, we've figured out our audience, costs, competition, and where we're going to sell. Let's start crunching some numbers. But first, a disclaimer. These prices, of course, can change at any time, or you might spend different amounts for different things, but the process will still be similar. Let's say we want to sell a black Gildan 5000 t-shirt from Awkward Styles using our free Printify account, and we want to sell it for $24.99. This t-shirt will cost $11.01 to produce, and I want shipping to be included in my price, so I've added $4.80 for a total of $15.81. I plan on selling my t-shirt on Etsy, so I need my price to cover Etsy fees as well. I've added the 20-cent listing fee, the 6.5% transaction fee, and the payment processing fee of 3% of the selling price plus 25 cents. So the total cost for t-shirt production plus shipping plus Etsy fees is $18.63. After subtracting our total cost from our selling price of $24.99, we can see that we'd make $6.36 from each t-shirt sold. Note that if production prices vary between t-shirt variants, then we recommend taking the average production cost of each. Okay, let's take a look at another example and take a slightly different approach. Let's say that I have Printify Premium and I want to sell a hoodie using SwiftPod on my Shopify store. I'd like to sell 5 sizes, but each size has a different price, so I've averaged them for a production cost of $21.84 plus $8 for shipping. And I also know Shopify charges a 30-cent transaction fee, so I put that in there as well for a total of $30.14. I'd like a profit margin of 40% so I can cover my other costs and still make a profit. So my selling price will be total cost plus profit margin, which equals $42.20. Shopify also charges a 2.9% credit card fee on the selling price. So after taking out the fee and costs, I have a profit of $10.84 per sale. Now, I still have some other expenses that I need covered to run my business. I use Printify Premium and have a basic Shopify plan, which each cost me $29 a month. I pay $12 a year for a domain name, so $1 a month. I bought my design for $5, so we'll also include that, and I plan to spend $50 to promote this item. That's a total of $114 in additional expenses. If I divide this by my profit of $10.84, I know that I'll need to sell 10 to 11 hoodies to cover any of my extra costs for the month before I start making a true profit. Pricing a product can be tricky, but don't let that stop you from launching your store. We are here to help. Some final words of advice: review your prices regularly. Demand might increase or decrease, additional costs may come along, and watch the competition. There's no perfect set magic formula for pricing your products, no matter how hard we wish there was. Start by determining your audience and studying the competition, assess your costs and decide on a pricing strategy, and monitor your results. The most important thing is that your expenses are covered and you see a bit of profit so that you can build a sustainable business. With that said, let us know what else you want to know down in the comments below, and make sure to like and subscribe to keep up with our latest advice.